We needed a new research facility to accommodate both laboratory space and also office space for the research scientists.
This project is a laboratory on first floor, and then it has an office space on second floor.
The initial design started out with more lab space than what we had in our previous facility, and then also office space that was probably about equivalent to the previous building, utilizing the open office concept. So that way we could fit more scientists into less office space.
We worked well with these two boxes that we had. So the second floor rectangular glass box, that's the office space, integrated in some extremely large cantilevers.
On this building we have two cantilevered soffits or canopies, and they're quite an engineering marvel, I guess, with the cantilevered soffits.
I think the aesthetic of the building and being able to build a building like this, that the second story all glass, the first story has a lot of glass but still enough siding that it hides some of the lab work too. So you know, it's a building that you can't have everybody looking in all the time, but it's just fantastic.
The second floor unitized glass systems. So the glass came in that was prepared with a frame, and the glass was set in the frame, and then we would set the modules with a crane. So the unitized glass system is a neat system.
The thing that I was most impressed with Story Construction was their actual project superintendent and their project management that they had on site. The way that the project flowed from step to step through the completion, it had a logical flow. There was always, everything was planful.
The biggest challenge we had on this project was we had a move-in date of February 1 of 2016, and we needed to have the owner start moving in equipment earlier than that date, so that February 1 was owner equipped, ready to function in the building, so interfacing with the owner's equipment and our equipment.
This space we're very proud to have this space as part of the research park. Glad to have BI here. Glad to have Story Construction help out. The space is fantastic. It's a showpiece for us on the corner here. Everybody can see it from the highway. A lot of people talk about it. It's just fantastic to have these guys make an investment in Ames. We're very excited to have them here.
I wanted to thank OPN for the great design and Story Construction for bringing that design to fruition. I wanted to thank all the members of the user group for helping out with the design and getting this world-renowned company a great workspace in order to develop and license our vaccines.
The scope of the project consisted of designing an EF5 rated building structure along with the mechanical and electrical systems to support a building within 24 hours of an event to continue manufacturing processes.
The reason we did that is for our customers' benefits. A lot of what we do, we're sole sourced and it's high proprietary type items. So we did this all in efforts to make our customers feel more secure, more risk-free.
The biggest challenge was, without a doubt, the complexity of the design of the project, being with the EF5 tornado system. The structure of the building was something that we don't see every day. A lot of structural steel, a lot of precast concrete, and very heavily mechanical and electrical systems. And that presented a lot of unique challenges that we don't run into typically.
Weitz did a great job with all the subcontractors, making sure that all the folks in all the different groups work together and on time to complete the project. As an owner's perspective on the construction techniques, I would think that just the sheer size of the structure, including the doors and the walls, footings, everything that it takes to withstand a tornado event.
From a mechanical standpoint, the scope of this project was HVAC and piping systems to support ISO certified clean rooms. One of the most innovative things that we did on this project was the rack piping that we installed in the trench systems in their production rooms. It allowed us to prefabricate almost all of the piping for the project, put it on racks, place it in the trenches before any of the building was done around it.
There really wasn't a precedent for an EF5 clean room facility. The teamwork that we had was pretty remarkable. The Weitz Company and Waldinger Corporation and SVP Architects worked together pretty closely, and were able to put together a new precedent for this type of a building.
One of the most innovative construction techniques we used really was associated with the hardened structure. And that means looking at all of the geometries associated with the walls, the penetrations through the walls, so that any objects that could penetrate the structure would be negated during an EF5 tornado event.
I think the most remarkable thing is the design team coming up with the plan of how to incorporate the EF5 structure.
Weitz brought a great mix to the project. A lot of experienced folks came in, and we'd like to thank Weitz and all the crews they helped bring into the project to get everything done on time.
The overall scope of the project included two components. The first was to create new space for our operating fire crews with a completely new structure. The second component was to renovate our historic 1901 fire building to make it functional for administrative offices.
The new spaces are the new apparatus bay where all their fire equipment sets for their day-to-day use. The upstairs of the addition is where their living quarters, kitchen, and day-to-day office pieces. In the existing building, the downstairs, which was their old apparatus bay to start with, is where some of their spare pieces are stored and their rescue boats. And then the upstairs of the old portion is their administrative offices for the Davenport Fire Department.
They all relate to the creative ideas that Bush Construction was able to bring to us in order to solve problems. So when we faced an issue, for example, in our old 1901 building, we had an original brick wall. What do we do with that brick wall? We were ready to cover it up. And until they creatively said, let's try to clean it, let's see what we can do with it. And we ended up with one of the most remarkable assets in the old building in that original 1901 brick wall.
The biggest challenge was working in an occupied facility. We had to make sure at all times that we kept all the egress areas open for the fire trucks to get out if there was a fire call. We couldn't block it with equipment or tools or anything like that. And then also people were still living here in the facility, so we had to be cautious of noise and dust and things like that throughout the project.
Some of the interesting technologies we used on this project include just standard BIM coordination. We coordinated all of the trades. We also used laser scanning. We scanned the old building to really know what kind of pieces and parts we have, as obviously as-built for a 1901 building aren't great. So the laser scanning, working with Multivista also really helped. That full package we were able to just recently turn over to the owner, and they're really going to use it in terms of finding VAV boxes and all these kind of things that you otherwise don't see above the ceiling.
Coming here to do this project for the city and for the Davenport Fire Department in particular is you realize the scope and breadth of what they do, and seeing what their old facility was like and then comparing it to what they have now to operate out of, that was tremendous.
The greatest asset for this project was when Bush came on board. Bush Construction brought innovative thinking. They listened to us, which was so important. They made sure that we got in this building what we needed, but also what we wanted. They controlled our budget that brought us in under budget. They became our friends, and they were here every day. Every member of their team became a member of the fire department family in listening to us, understanding our needs, and then responding to those needs from beginning to end.